Purple Unicorn song. Ready?
Okay.
On three. I love you.
You love me.
We're a happy family. You can sing the rest of it because I don't know the words.
With a great big hug.
Let's just give a high five and call it a
Won't you
day.
say
Thank you
you
for your
love
first
me
name.
too?
A big hand out there, virtual hand for my nemesis.
So there's a Barney documentary coming out called I Love You, You Hate Me. And it's about the death threats that the guy who played Barney got.
Oh my God. I love Barney.
I know. That's
Good job, Ted. Thank you, Joe.
It's 11:30. It's time for aspireability. If you could disperse this way. Thank you. Yep.
I know.
John, is aspireability Cue the songs from Love Story here. Does anybody know those words from Love Story? Dang it. Guys, move on. Let's go. I'm going to make this quick, and I was going to join it, but I'm just going to let Ted work his magic because he's one of the best vetters in the business. I like it if you get this kind of the crescent this way. So bring out this way, this way. Crest. How's the shot? Get closer together, even though it's your father-in-law. It's okay for you to be friendly.
And take a picture of us all on camera.
Thank you.
True story. 3 years ago, I get this email from someone that tells me I have to meet him at this obscure medical office. And he tells me that the assessment tool and software that I'm implementing is not the proper one. I thought he was high. Number one, who is this guy? I look him up. He's got like every relative in LinkedIn with him. And 3 hours later, I had to let Journeyfront go because I realized he was wrong. Journeyfront is wonderful, and what Dan and his team has built is fantastic. It just wasn't the right thing for us. And with that, I present John Mott and Derryberry, as well as Jacob Broadbent. I am the chief community officer for Aspireability, but rather than me over-talking the ability for you to get out of them what you get out of them, the great purple-dressed Ted McAleer.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for introducing this next segment, Joel. My name is Ted McAleer. I'm the co-founder of the Park City Angels, and today we're going to be talking about aspireability. We found the best way to get things going is to just introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do, and what you need. And we'll start here, go here, and then go here. So kick us off, John.
Yeah, so my name is John Mott, CEO and founder of Aspireability, and our primary focus is to, it's a little audacious, but to fix the broken job market. If you think of the job market as three-sided with job seekers, education providers, employers, they're all trying to behave rationally, but none of them have enough information about each other to actually make good decisions. So they all put in gazillions of hours and dollars and technology and get bad outcomes. So we are jumping into the middle of that to be a market maker. This might sound like a silly, tiny place to start, but our primary place to start is with employers' terrible job descriptions. They don't have consensus in their companies about what a job actually is. So the purple unicorn, the point of that is job postings are usually purple unicorns. Like, we need 10 years experience for a starting job. We need somebody who has 5 different areas of expertise. You know, you're like, that's a purple unicorn. I've heard of it, but never seen one. Or if they exist in your company, it's because you made them. So we essentially help companies create their purple unicorns. We help schools make sure they're providing the talent that companies actually need. So what do we need? We need 3 things. We need schools that are interested in better aligning their programs with the job market. We need employers that want to have more accurate hiring, better onboarding, better upskilling and pathways. And then we need funding. We're doing a seed raise. We have great traction with some great customers, but we're going to be stretched to deliver on those, and we want to develop a platform that's really scalable and can go to millions and millions of job seekers.
Super. All right, so we'll come over here. If you would introduce yourself and your role, and a slight twist based upon this is tell us about one of those early adopter customers that John just talked about.
Love to.
Okay,
Love to.
just so we can have a case study to kind of bring this home.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Derryberry. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Aspireability. I think that maybe the best illustration is a project that we're just launching rather than one that we've concluded. And I'm doing that for a particular reason because we need your help with this. We are launching a project with the Navajo Nation, and they are the largest tribe in the continental U.S. They are really suffering, as all the tribes are, from chronic, really high unemployment. And they caught wind of the work that we're doing and have invited us to sort of do our magic for them, which means that we are going to be bringing jobs to the reservation. We will be mapping the competencies of each of the jobs that we bring to the table. We will be working with the tribal colleges to help them understand what the employer needs are so that they can make any modifications to their curriculum that may be required so that they can help with upskilling job seekers who are not quite there yet, need a little bit of extra help to get their competency sets in place. And the reason I say we need your help is that we are looking for employers who are interested in bringing their remote tech jobs to our platform so that we can invite Navajo job seekers to join your teams. And we'll make sure that they have the upskilling plans in place in order to fill your needs exactly as you need them filled. So I'm not sure what's the best way to let everybody know how to contact me to do this, but we can take care of that at some point.
Well, just I assume you've got a website.
Yep. We have.
It's
aspireability.io. Aspireability, all one word.
Okay, super. Well, let's shift over here and introduce yourself and just give us your focus within the team.
Yeah, so my name is Jacob Broadhead. I run the user experience and product design side of things at Aspireability. And one piece that we're really focusing on is not limiting this to new hires specifically. I mean, it is a big piece when you get into a new company, is getting your first job and making it very transparent and unbiased as to how you get that job. But there's also the upskilling plan. And what we do when we make these, we'll say job definitions, because I don't like job descriptions, transparent, is we provide very clear upskilling paths, and not necessarily in the same vertical you're in. It could be anywhere in the organization, it could be an external organization, but to allow people to really advance in their careers and chase their ambitions wherever they may want to go. So to kind of add to what John and Ann have said as to what our need is, not only do we need people who are looking to better define their jobs, but people who are really excited about helping their employees advance and be part of the team long term.
Right, and I would just add to that, if you talk about the Great Resignation and quiet quitting, one of the biggest challenges that we have, McKinsey just released a survey and said the number one reason that people are leaving is because they don't have a clear upskilling pathway. And so what Jacob's talking about is, yes, let's get the right people in the door and into the right jobs. But once somebody's been in a job 18, 24, 36 months, if there's no visibility for them into the next job, they're shutting down. They're a likely exit.
So here in Utah, I think we call this career pathways.
Yep.
And I think it really helps to have a concrete example of a career pathway. I'm gonna give it from my perspective, not being a part of your company, but I think of somebody that might take their first job in customer service.
Yep.
And now that they're in customer service and they like the people on their team, they realize that the people that are actually doing technical customer service, who might be in the next pod or module, are making more money than them.
Yep.
Right? So they have to say, hey, how do I move from customer service to technical customer service.
Yes.
And once I'm, working the phones doing technical customer service, perhaps that company also has a technical implementation team.
Right.
There you
And
go.
those people on the technical implementation team make $2 an hour more than the people in technical service.
There you go.
But
Yep.
this is just the way I would think about it.
Yes.
How do you all think about it?
Just pretty much like that.
Maybe let me make a short comment, then I'm going to ask Ann to fill something in. One of the biggest challenges you have is that person who's in that first job you mentioned, and they go to their boss and say, hey, I want that other job, how do I do that? There's almost never a good answer. It's like, well, keep working hard at this job, and when that one comes open, apply for it. Well, how do I know if I'm ready? Read the job description, right? So we're trying to, not trying, we create clear competency maps for not only this job, but this job. So you could see a report that says not only what the delta is between the two jobs, but what your delta is. Maybe you've actually acquired some of these competencies, and you're only missing one or two things for that job. So that's what we provide. Do you want to talk about how we did that for AWS?
Sure, but let me just make one other remark, and that is that a lot of people's career paths are less linear
Yeah.
than what you described. Mine sure is. I've jumped all around doing a whole bunch of different things because my interests have kind of taken me in a bunch of different directions. Well, I don't think I'm unique there. So when you look at somebody's competency map and you juxtapose that over an organization's competency map, for all of the competencies that are required in all of the jobs at an organization, you begin to see that what I've got here not only aligns with where I am today, but if I want to make a move over to marketing maybe,
Yeah.
I have some technical skills that may be lacking in some of the marketing areas, so I could really offer some great advantage. In a variety of other things, but I can begin to see what my opportunities are that I might not have even thought of before, but I can see it when I look at the whole map. So how do we get that whole map of an organization? And this is what John was referring to. When we did this for AWS Professional Services, we were asked to map the top 10 most populated jobs in this organization of over 10,000 employees. And we went through job by job by job and did an analysis of what each of those jobs required, and what we got out of that was an understanding of what the 3 levels of proficiency are within that job category. And by that I mean knowledge, skills, and ability. And we charted all of that out for them so that now that they are able to understand what each of the job requirements are much better than they could before. There was a lot of internal conflict around a lot of these jobs. And they're able to evaluate their incumbents better because they know what the actual requirements now are for a particular job, and they're able to guide their employees in their personal development into whatever their ambitions are.
Yeah.
So historically, we've
Sure.
talked about job descriptions. What do you all call this? I mean, do you
Yeah.
call it a job mapping board
Competency
or
map
a
is what
competency
it is.
map? Okay.
Yeah.
And if you call it a competency map, how would that look to me visually?
Sure.
Okay, I can picture 2 dimensions
Yep.
of competency,
Yeah.
but I can't picture 3 dimensions.
Yeah, and we have some examples of this on our website, but imagine a list of competency categories, and within that specific competencies. So I'll give you an example. So let's say it's a data analyst job, and the category is identifying patterns in data, and one of the specific competencies is anomaly detection. We will have for that a very specific statement of what that means and what level of proficiency you need for that job. And so you now have a much more transparent understanding, because usually what's on the job description, it'll just say anomaly detection. And you're like, what does that mean?
Right. Okay, well, our host is telling us that it's time to wrap up here, so just want to summarize that we're at Silicon Slopes, and we are talking about job mapping and competency mapping, and we're talking about that through the lens and perspective of the team at Aspireability. So if you want to learn more about how your company can start to map competencies within your organization, please go to aspireability.io and let them know you're out there, and they will follow up with you.
Thank you.
This is a direct ask to my counterparts and those that have known me for the last 35 years in technology. There are only 150 jobs created every year for the 3,000 members of the Navajo tribe. That's bullshit. We can do something about it. These guys can do something about it. You can do something about it. And at aspireability.io, John, without an H, John at aspireability.io, we need your support letters that you will commit once they are in the position of providing the mapping you just heard about and being in the position of being able to create the training for the remote jobs on the res, that you will hire some of them. You know who you are. I'm going to hold you to it. Thank you very much. If you guys can move off to the side, we got our next group.
Thanks, Joel.
All right, thanks.
Hey, thanks a ton.
Yeah, thanks, John.
All righty, come on up, Anthony. And what was your name again? All right, Danielle. Thank you. We've got an interesting juxtaposition here for you. I will let you break sometime soon.
Okay.
I got Michael Dallin coming in there.
Okay.
Okay, we've got our amazing Ted McAleer, who has vetted probably more people. Jeremy might have vetted more because of the students indirectly, but it's cool because every audience should be able to have advocates that the opportunities for them can reach them. And that's one of the most incredible things that what you have that's here and in here in the continuation of the community that we have here, which is the theme of this Silicon Slopes 22. So with that stated, and I've given you no preparation for this, this is Ted McAleer with the Park City Angels, also the Marine Corps, all sorts of amazing things that he